Good day guys, Mark here again and welcome back to my channel. If you love cars, DIYs, and anything car related, please consider subscribing and check out my playlist. Are you having problems with your car in terms of hard starting, bad mileage, as well as unstable idle, and not to mention poor performance? So on today's video, I'm going to teach you guys on how to clean the fuel injectors on your Hyundai Eon. This also applies to other types of vehicles, and you just need basic tools to do this. And you can see that the injector, the fuel rail, which is this one, and the injectors has been removed from the vehicle. I'm gonna show to you guys later on how to install it back, basically reverse the process um, on removing it. So first thing that you would need would be a long nose pliers, carburetor cleaner, a size 10 or sorry, a size 12 wrench, a socket wrench, and basically a penetrating oil for those bolts that has been removed. This is just a basic cleaning. Ideally, when you want to clean the injectors themselves, you will need a toolkit to be used for us to be able to switch on the power for the injectors for us to um, use chemicals for the injectors itself. But I don't have one available as of the moment, but I'll give you guys an idea how to basically clean it. Okay. After removing the fuel rail and the injectors, next that we will be doing would be removing the terminals in each injectors. So I already loosened up one. All you need to do is just push this lock and pull it out. Okay. So let's try it out on the second injectors. Okay. You hear the pop or the click. Um, Let me pull that out. Should be easy. Let me just place you guys an angle. Okay. So it would be easier for me to work with both hands. Okay, so just yeah. Okay, the last injector or the last terminal. All right. So once the terminal has been removed, the fuel injectors themselves are being held up by a clip, which is this. Using your long nose pliers, just loosen up the clip on one side, okay, like that, and then let's see if we can remove the okay. So after removing one side, you should be able to remove the other one using your hand, and then um, okay, let me just place that on the ground. And okay, so all we need to do now is just pull out the clip like that, and you should be able to pull out the injector like that. Okay, sorry guys. So yeah, this is our fuel injector. So what when we have the kit, once I do have the budget, it plugs in here, plugs in on 12 volt car battery, and then there's two type of flush, the outward flush and the inward flush. While tapping on the power, you'll need to spray chemical in the nozzle, okay? But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna clean everything with a carb cleaner, okay? And now we will be proceeding with a basic cleaning of the injector. So I'll be using a carburetor cleaner. Okay, so this is injector number 3. So this is basically just point and shoot. Let me show you guys how. Okay, so I'm gonna let that air dry and then work with injector number 2. So this DIY, will not recommend this for first time newbies, or basically first timers for DIYs. I wouldn't recommend you guys doing this. You might mess up your fuel system. So injector number 2, same process. Okay, that's number 2, and injector number 1. Okay, same process, point and shoot. So we will let those guys air dry for about maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
A few moments later.
Okay, so 10 minutes has passed. It's now time to put everything back in its place. So let's start with injector number 1. Okay, and then we will be securing the injector in place. Okay, and that's it. We will be installing it back in the car, and we'll go ahead and start her up. Okay, guys, so I'll be returning the fuel injectors together with the fuel rail. But before that, I'm just gonna do a brief explanation on how to remove the fuel injectors and the fuel rail. First thing that you want to do is remove the airbox assembly, and then remove the terminal that powers the injectors themselves, this one. And then you will need to remove two size 12 bolts located in here and the one in the middle. And right before pulling out the fuel rail, you will need to pull out the fuel line, which is this one. And you should be able to pull out the fuel rail together with the fuel injectors easily. And also, right before returning our fuel injectors, you might want to clean this area. Just be all right, guys. So I'll be returning uh, the fuel rail and the fuel injectors right now. Again, guys, I do not recommend, especially for first time DIYers, I do not recommend you guys doing this. I would rather have you guys pay for a skilled mechanic to do this for you, because this is very sensitive area of the vehicle, and we don't want to mess up your fuel system. Okay, so again, I do not recommend you guys doing this if you're a first time DIYer. So pay a skilled mechanic, um, observe what he or she is doing, and try it out yourself. Okay, but if you're just gonna do it for the first time, would rather not recommend, guys. So when returning the fuel rail and the fuel injectors, just be careful not to catch any dust along the way. Okay, good, good. So this is the consequence of us having a small car. Um, we have a small engine bay to work with, but I don't complain. I love my car. All right, and then Just lining everything up. And just get the other end here.
A few moments later.
Okay, so the fuel rail and the injectors are halfway in. It's really hard to force the injectors inside when you're working in a small space. All right, so I think injectors one is the only one that needs to be pushed. Let's use a rag here. Just a little bit. Mm, looks good to me. Um, so now, here comes the fun part. Using our ratchet, we'll work on the first bolt that we will be returning. So this is a bit tricky because if the bolt falls down, you know what? Let's work smart, guys. I'm gonna place a piece of cloth right at the bottom. Just to be sure that, just in case um, the bolt falls down, our rag will be the one to catch it. So you will know if the fuel injectors are in, if the bolt is not aligned in the hole, and you'll see that um, the bolt that I just inserted is basically aligned. So that means that the injectors are snug fit. And at this point, guys, I'm basically just tightening up the bolts for the fuel rail. I was surprised. I actually didn't had a hard time uh, with the bolt that actually made me suffer um, earlier. So thank God for that. Um, for this bolt, the one on the outer part of the rail, you can actually use an extension and a ratchet. Okay. Then um, on the middle part, this is the tricky bolt that actually uh, um, the bolt that made me suffer. Once I get the kit, guys, for the cleaner for the injectors, I might create a separate video for that one. All right, so I'll be returning the airbox, but before I do that, we'll be returning the terminal for the injectors right over here. Then the airbox assembly. Okay. And out of 5 years of me owning the car, this is actually the first time I cleaned the injectors, uh, which is okay because I actually have like low mileage in it. Injectors should be cleaned um, about every 180 to 100,000 kilometers. Uh, for for you to get back those mileage and performance out of your engine. I miss doing DIYs in the morning. The problem here in my place is when if you're gonna do DIY early in the morning, it's really cold. It's hard to move around, if it's cold. So most of the time, I just sleep again. uh, that's the reason why I mostly do my DIYs late in the afternoon, uh, where it's really hot. Like right now, it's hot outside. Um, so while we're at it, guys, a lot of you guys are requesting for me to do a video for the gear oil change and then oil change. I would love to, guys, but I just changed my oil and my transmission oil. But if ever we are able to reach about 2,500 subscribers, guys, I promise I will do one of the two videos, either the gear oil or the oil change. I'll do a DIY video for that one. So last screw would be for the intake, and we'll fire her up. Okay, guys, so I think she's ready. um, I'm not gonna uh, all right, guys, so this would be the first time that we will be starting the car right after cleaning the injectors, the fuel rail, and basically everything. So before cranking up your engine, I would suggest to switch it on first, like that, for about 5 to 10 seconds for the fuel pump to fill up the injector rails and the injectors themselves. So let's wait for about 5 seconds and let's crank her up. All right, so that's just about it. Let's go ahead and see. Perfect, guys, perfect. So just one click. Um, the idle is good, as always. Um, so let's go ahead and turn on the AC and see what happens. Oh my god, cold air. As you can see, guys, it's 2:50 and it's scorching outside. Yeah, idle is good. AC is good. Let's try to rev it up a bit. Oh yeah. So I'm really happy with the DIY. Looks good, sounds good. Um, and that's how you clean, flush, install, remove your fuel rail, fuel injectors. If you find this video useful, give it a huge thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and click the notification bell, guys, for you to be updated every time I upload videos. Again, this is Mark. Thank you so much for joining me today on this DIY. I hope you love the video. See you on the next vlog, guys.